let me go and live your life. That's what will please me the most. If you can live within your means, if you can show up and be on time, if you can bring some structure and organization to your life and to your career, if you can own your mistakes and take personal responsibility for them, and you can live in the present, making the most of right now, then you are a long way, a really long way at being better at what you do than you have ever been before. If you think you do all those things now, good for you. Maybe you can improve, maybe you're doing the best you can. But regardless, even if you're doing all these things now, still write these ideas and concepts down and keep doing them. I have to tell you, these 10 steps with these sub-paragraphs that I mentioned earlier, the truth is, when I practiced law, I'm doing okay and well, I probably only did 1.5 of these whole list very well. And the ones that I did pretty good is that I was nice to people. I was kind to people. I tried to be gracious to people as much as I could. Clients and court people and everyone. I did. People in the law firm, staff. And I had a sense of humor. I could laugh. But the truth is, that's probably all I did that was really good. I would grade myself, probably back then, on those 2 points, I give myself a B. I give myself on all these other points that I made. I would say most of the time I passed, but sometimes I didn't. But if I did pass, it was by the skin of my teeth. And on some of them I did not pass. And the failure to pass is what caused me trouble. So when I say to you, these things will make you better than what you do, they will also, quite frankly, keep you out of trouble. They will keep you from making mistakes. You know, one of the things that always was said to me when I was starting out doing these programs over 10 years ago, Jim, it's good for people to hear your story and to learn from your story what you did and how you handled it and the stop signs of warning signs of problems to come. But one of the things that would make your programs better and make your talk better is if you could tell people specifically what they could do that would keep them safe. What a law firm could do that would keep it safe. These are my best suggestions. You that I'm going over right now, you will know that when you registered and I sent to you these papers, one of the papers I sent is a sheet that's blank with some numbers 1 through 10 that says my own list for making me better at what I do. These are not the 10 Commandments, though I think they're pretty good. These are not the 10 Commandments. These are not Scripture. These are simply my own personal views of what I have learned over the last years of what, frankly, I think ought to be included. The trick is, what would be your list? You should take some time. You don't have to do it right now, but sometime take your time and make your own list of what you would like to include. What would you like to put down? How important would that be? I think it would be huge if you could do that. Just huge. And it would make you better at what you do. This next one, I give you several outs here because I say consciously behave as honorably as you can, as much of the time as you can. That's got a lot of wiggle room in it, frankly. you could drive a truck through that. But what I really mean by this is do not ever overpromise what you can do for a client. Do not overpromise what you can do for another lawyer. If you're a paralegal, don't overpromise what you can do for the attorneys for whom you work. Just don't do it. I know people say, well, I like to under-promise and over-deliver, and that's great. One of the mistakes, I think, in looking back at my life and career that I made was to overpromise. I don't think I did it meanly, but I do think I wanted to please people. And when they came to see me, I wanted them to feel good when they left. You know, I always believe that it's good to give people hope, if you can. But in giving people hope, try to avoid giving them unreasonable hope. Some of you may recall that some time ago, the husband of Sheryl Sandberg, who is a lady who was a chief officer at Facebook and wrote a book called Leaned In, essentially for women, he died in a tragic accident while on vacation. And she wrote an article about this on her Facebook page. And she said she always thought that people to whom she spoke wanted to be told they were going to be okay. But then she said, what do I say to people, or what do they say to me when everything is not going to be okay? What if it can't be made to be okay? What do you say then? What do you do then? In thinking about that, I think I'm reminded of the concept that what people want when they come to see you or they speak to you on the phone, whether you're a lawyer or a paralegal, it is that they want empathy from you. They want you to empathize with them. They want you to be on their side. They want you to be willing to help them. They want you to not be judgmental. They want you to understand their situation. They want you to try your best to make their life or their legal situation better. In doing that, or in promising that, which you can promise to do that, you're giving them hope. You're not deceiving them. More specifically, you're not lying to them. You're not giving them some false hope that will turn into disappointment and anger when it does not come true. If you are a young lawyer or you work for a young lawyer who is just starting out, either in a sole practitioner or a small law firm trying to make his way, or a large law firm, don't overpromise in order to get a new client. Don't overpromise to get a new client. It always, I shouldn't say that, it most always will work out badly, both for you and the client. When the client leaves your office or gets off the phone, or you've finished your email, be certain that you have told them the truth and what you can and what you cannot do. Don't hold out a promise that you cannot deliver. Truthfulness, which is difficult to do, is hard when you don't know the consequences of telling that truth. consequences are always worse if you don't tell the truth, because most times it's going to be found out anyway. When I used to go see Dr. Spalding, my psychiatrist, many years ago, one time I'd been seeing her, 2 or 3 months, and she looked and asked me, she said, "Jim, I think you've not been totally candid with me. I don't think you've been totally truthful with me." And I reacted not well, because to my knowledge I had never said anything to her that was not so. She said, "But I think truth is larger than that. I think sometimes when you don't tell me something, and I don't understand or know something that you've not told me, which if you had would change my thinking, then I think that's not true, and that's not being truthful." We disagreed on that for several weeks. It cost me a bunch of money to go to these sessions with her and lose that argument. But eventually, I have to tell you, I think I lost that argument and concluded that she was right. I hate that, but that's probably the truth. Clients and their truthfulness, you can't control that. Only they can control that. You have to learn to be patient and recognize that they're going through all stages of problems and denial and anger and grief and fear and everything before they get to tell you the truth and acceptance of what they've done. The same with a client may also be true, frankly, with you. If you've made a mistake or not done something, you first may get into denial of that. And then you will go and say, "Well, maybe I can fix it this way. I can tell this story or this lie or this something and cover it up this way." Or you don't do that, and you get angry, and you lash out. And then you're fearful of what the client's going to do. The smartest thing you can do is to be truthful with the client. Be truthful with the court. Be candid. Let the chips fall. Then you don't have to worry about what you said. Then you don't have to worry about whether you're going to get caught. I promise you. Excuse me. I talk about passion. One of the ways to destroy passion is to not be truthful and candid with people. One of the ways to keep passion is to be truthful and honest with people. Truth is the biggest weapon your client has. The truth is the biggest weapon your client has. It is one of the best traits and characteristics that you have. If you're not ready, say so. If you've not done something, say so. And then try to do it as quickly, as carefully, and as well as you can. Always follow through. Keep your promises. If you make them, act on them. If you make promises, for goodness sakes, keep them. And be truthful with people. Don't get caught in things that you shouldn't get caught in. I did. I think others have. It's a problem. Don't do that. Simply don't do that. You know, you've probably never been a client. Or maybe you have. Maybe you've been sued. Maybe you've been in a divorce. Maybe you have had a traffic ticket. Maybe you've had a DWI. Who knows? But maybe there's something out there that you've been a client. Being a client is not a whole lot of fun.